How are you all?
Great.
Nice to see you.
As well.
I saw you in American Psycho 5 years ago.
Stop it.
I met you at the
I'm
stage
so
door.
glad you have that t-shirt
I
on.
literally, as soon as I got confirmed, I was like, I'm finding that shirt, I'm wearing
That
it.
is sick.
Right?
Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it twice.
Oh, amazing.
Really good.
Were you an American Psycho fan, obviously, of the film?
Yeah.
Did you fly over to see it?
No, I was already in town. I was
Right,
like,
okay.
I gotta go.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get tickets? It was hard to get tickets, apparently.
Just go in the morning.
Go in the morning,
Queue up,
queue,
yeah.
sure.
So how
Brilliant.
much, for this new show that you're doing, how much did you get to create your own fresh characters, since obviously most of the time Thomas Wayne is not a character that you get to learn about, he's just there and then he's not.
Yeah, I think it's a collaborative process with Bruno. Obviously he wrote the pilot and is responsible for the writing of the rest of it, so I was responding to what's on the page, but he really has free reign, I think. We know the end point of where he ends up, dead, obviously, but then he's referenced, I guess, throughout the comic books as being very moral and philanthropic and a hero in that sense. So there's that strong moral fibre to him, and he definitely is going to get there, but I think we're seeing him in his earlier days, and in a different way. I know in the comic book he works in medicine. In our version he's in a much more covert world, kind of a bit of espionage, and he has to make some quite kind of morally compromising choices. He's given some tasks and various things to do which he finds very difficult because he has this quite kind of upright moral backbone, I guess. So we're going to get to see him struggle with that. But yeah, in terms of fleshing the character out, it really is. Bruno gives you a very strong idea of what he wants on the page, and then you can fill in a few blanks, but he's there as part of our process to talk us through, and you'll have a little conversation at the side of set where he'll give you loads of magic, and you're like, oh great. But the look and feel of him was really exciting. In an early audition, they started talking about Cary Grant and how they wanted him to feel like this 1950s film star, very much fish out of water, a Hollywood film star plonked into a very like gritty London. And I was like, great, I can go back and watch all of those films and be specific about the accent, and all of the costumes as well were really fun. So it was a nice period to study and be part of. I'm obsessed with that period in the 1960s as well, and like one of my favourite TV shows is Mad Men, and so it felt like inhabiting that world was a bit of a dream come true at times. It's cool.
We're making reference to the original 60s Avengers.
Right. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
The fighting style of the series is a little more modern than what we would have expected for that time.
Right.
How do you find the balance of keeping true to the era of time, but then mixing in, modern mixed martial arts?
Yeah, I think that's another thing that I guess we've said it in a world that exists in 1960s London, but it's got that DC twist where anything can happen. So there are points where we'll reference different time periods. You'll suddenly get 70s fashion, or you'll get like a modern piece of music in the mix as well. But yeah, I think it pulls on lots of different areas, and there are no rules basically. So it's got this kind of familiar, homely vibe to it. And as soon as you're settling into what you think the show is, something strange will happen. You'll be like, oh, I thought we were in this place and we're in this place. And I think that's been a really cool side to it. It's a really like twisted, unusual, unpredictable world. And I think the world that Bruno's created is one of the strongest parts of the show, actually. You can really kind of like grab hold of it, and it's got a different political system to anything we know. It's got a different social justice system to anything we know. It's like he's really invented these rules that the show runs by, and that's a really cool element of it, I think.
Why do you think Thomas Wayne is so attractive? Like, what is it about Pennyworth that he wants him to work for?
Well, I think he's in London, and he's caught up in this, as I said, this covert world, but he needs protection. He needs someone with street smarts to kind of guide him through the streets and to do his dirty work for him, basically. Thomas isn't a man of violence, but he sometimes needs to have the help of someone who is more well-versed in that world. So I think he's circling Alfred as an asset and kind of like needs him. And then even though Alfred is quite reluctant to be involved, I think he also needs a bit of what Thomas adds, which is money and influence. So there's something they need from each other, and that's why they're kind of drawn to each other, but also quite repelled by each other as well. It's interesting. It's not a buddy movie or buddy story at all straight away. It's kind of like how they eventually get there.
What is it about your character's arc over the season that most either impressed or shocked you?
Or I can't,
Or will impress or shock you?
it's difficult to say without giving stuff away, but there is some towards the. He has to make some shocking choices, and there are some unexpected things that kind of like, how can I put it, burst out of him, basically, which is a bit of a tease.
It sounds like Aliens. Where, yeah.
A little bit. Well, we'll see. Yeah, really exciting. I think it's something that, like, when people have been like, oh, what are you working at the moment? And I'm like, oh, I'm playing Thomas Wayne. It's a character that everyone knows, so everyone's instantly like, oh my god, that's, so it's just been really. At times you've been like, oh, it could feel intimidating, but it doesn't, because we're doing something that's before the canon, so it's not like people are going to be judging it going, that's not Thomas Wayne, or but just exciting, basically. It's been great. Thank you very much.